Contents of Proverbs. The first section, 1 through chapters 9, verse 18. This is a connected poem made up of short discourses as though from a father to a son, dealing with the need for wisdom to guide the heart, or the whole inner person, and to direct desire. It teaches the value of wisdom and its blessings, happiness, pleasantness, peace, and life. 133 through chapter 3, 13 through 18, chapter 8, verse 32 to 35. It contrasts this with the lack of wisdom, and its result, suffering and finally death. 128 to 32, 7:24 to 27, 8:36. Considering the infinite situations and possibilities of life, it gives one basic study in human conduct and the present and future consequences of that conduct. The words at Proverbs 1:7 set the pattern for the entire book. The fear of Jehovah is the beginning of knowledge. All actions must show that Jehovah is taken into consideration. There is constant repetition of the need not to forget God's laws, to keep close to His commandments and not forsake them. The prominent threads that run through the fabric of this section are practical wisdom, knowledge, fear of Jehovah, discipline, and discernment. Warnings are given against bad company, rejecting Jehovah's discipline, and improper relations with strange women. 1:10 through 19, 3:11 and 12, 5 3 through 14, 7 1 through 27. Twice wisdom is described as being in public places, thus obtainable, available. 1:20, 21, 8 1 through 11. It is personified and speaks appealingly to the inexperienced ones, even throwing some light on the creation of the earth. 1:22 to 33, 8 4 to 36. What an amazing book this is. This section closes out with its starting theme that the fear of Jehovah is the start of wisdom, 9:10. Throughout, it argues that recognition of Jehovah in all our ways, together with our adherence to His righteousness, is the way of life and can guard us against so much that is undesirable. The second section, 10 through chapter 24, verse 34. Here we find many choice, unconnected maxims that apply wisdom to the complex situations of life by teaching us the proper application. It aims to promote greater happiness and pleasant living. Contrasts and the parallelisms make these teachings stand out in our mind. Here is a partial list of the subjects that are considered in just chapters 10, 11, and 12. Love versus hatred, wisdom versus foolishness, honesty versus cheating, faithfulness versus slander, truth versus falsehood, generosity versus holding back, diligence versus slackness, walking in integrity versus crooked ways, good counsel versus no skillful direction, capable wife versus shameful wife, righteousness versus wickedness, modesty versus presumptuousness. Consider this list in relation to daily living. Must convince us that Proverbs really is a practical book. The rest of this section, 13 through chapter 24, 34, continues with its reminders of Jehovah's standards so that we may have insight and discernment. A list of the great variety of human situations dealt with will show what a broad coverage this book gives. It is most beneficial to have this Bible counsel on pretense. Presumptuousness, keeping one's word, shrewdness, associations, child correction, and training. Man's view of what is right, being slow to anger, favor to the afflicted, fraud, prayer, ridicule, contentment with life's necessities, pride, unjust profit, bribery, contention, self control, isolation, silence, partiality, quarreling, humility, luxury, care of father and a mother, intoxicating, beverages, cheating, qualities of a wife, gifts, borrowing, lending, kindness, confidence, property lines, building up the household, envy, retaliation, vanity, mild answer, meditation, and true companionship. Quite a wealth of counsel to go to for sound guidance on everyday affairs. To some, a number of these items may seem unimportant, but herein we note that the Bible does not neglect our need, even in seemingly small things. In this, Proverbs is of inestimable value. Third section, 25 to chapter 29, verse 27. Upbuilding counsel is given on such matters as honor, patience, enemies, dealings with stupid persons, behaving having fun, flattery, jealousy, hurt caused by a friend, hunger, slander, attention to responsibility, interest, confession, result of wicked rule, arrogance, the blessing of righteous rule, child delinquency, treatment of servants, insight and vision. The fourth section, 31 through 33. This is the weighty message attributed to Agur. After a humble admission of his own unimportance, the writer makes reference to the inability of a man to create the earth and the things in it. He calls God's word refined and a shield. He asks that the lying word he put far away from him, and that he be given neither riches nor poverty. He describes an impure, proud, and greedy generation that calls down evil upon its parents. Four things that have not said enough are identified, along with four things that are too difficult to comprehend. 30 verse 15 and 16. An adulterous wife, brazen self-acquittal is given. Then there are described four things under which the earth cannot endure. Four small things, instinctively wise, and four things that excel in their moving along. By apt comparisons, the writer warns that the squeezing out of anger is what brings forth quarreling. 30:33. The fifth section, 31 1 to 31. Here is another weighty message, that of Lemuel the king. This is in two styles of writing. The first part, discussing the ruin to which one can come through a bad woman, warns how intoxicating liquor can pervert judgment, and cause for righteous judgment. The acrostic in the latter part is devoted to a classic description of a capable wife. In some detail, it considers her value, pointing out that she is trusted and rewarded to her owner. Her qualities include being industrious, an early riser, a careful buyer, kind to the poor, as well as exercising foresight and speaking with wisdom. She is also alert, respected by her children, and praised by her husband. Above all, she fears Jehovah.